What's up, everyone? My name's Tyler, Mom's Basement MMA, and today I have a welterweight contender joining me from New Jersey. His name's Eric Nolan, and he'll be fighting very soon, CFFC 138, December 13th. Eric, what's up, man? Always a pleasure to have you on the program, sir.
How you doing, brother? Happy to be back.
Always a good time talking to you. Can you tell me a little bit? CFFC 138, you and a few other teammates are on this card. How are things at Dante's right now? How are you guys all managing being in camp at the same time?
Yeah, no, we're good. You got me and Luke fighting, so we're both fired up. We both got done doing our rounds today. We both feel good. It's been good. The energy's high. We're both excited for this.
Been pretty crazy seeing what you've been able to accomplish as of late. 2024, man, it's been a big year for you. Can you tell me a little bit, like, ending 2023? I know you didn't end 2023 on like the terms you wanted to, but you've been looking fantastic in 2024. What's changed this year with you?
It's something I've said over and over and over. I know I could be in there with these high level guys. I consider myself a high level guy. After the split decision losses didn't go my way. So
I thought you won that fight personally. I think
yeah,
a lot of people did too, for
yeah,
what it's worth.
yeah. I think a lot of people would agree that I won that fight. But it is what it is. You can't leave it to the judges' scorecards. I try to get a finish every fight, so it's not that I'm not trying to edge out decisions, but it's just the way I fight. I come in there and I'm looking for the finish. I'm hunting for the finish. So
Well, you did exactly that in your most recent contest, CFFC 137. That was a crazy fight for the amount of time that it lasted. And, I don't tell anyone the account I use to pick my regional fights, but for you, I was like, Eric's got a pretty good rear naked choke. I'm thinking this fight's going to make it down to the ground. He'll sink that in. He'll probably end up winning the fight by submission. You don't. You end up sparking this guy in the very first round. Can you tell me a little bit, like, when you were sharing the cage with Tavarres, the guy that you did the film study of, was that the guy that showed up on the cage, or were you surprised at anything by your opponent?
yeah, no, it was exactly the guy I expected to be in the cage. A guy with a kind of padded record, a 7-2 fighter coming in fighting a 5-3 fighter. But if you look at the strength of schedule, it just didn't add up. And I think he came in there expecting similar results that he's gotten. But I game planned for this kid. I took him very seriously, and I've been saying the whole fight camp. I was like, I'm gonna catch him coming in, or he's I catch him coming out.
Uh,
So
I was a little surprised at like his aggression. Like he seemed to like come into that fight like from the opening bell, like he wanted to take your head off. And you seemed calm and composed, like you'd seen that a million times. And I don't remember if it was Cameron or if it was Gonzalez that did that to you, but I remember one of your other fights, somebody had that same approach, and like you just like have a really good way of like managing pressure when people like kind of grow crazy at you, and then you like figure out the timing, whether it's getting a takedown or counter striking. It just seems that you do really well counter striking or using somebody's aggression against them.
yeah, I mean, I'm in there with dogs all the time, and I've the past couple camps I've had a good striking Carl Roberson, who he used to knock people the fuck out in the UFC. He kind of changed my mentality a little bit when it came to striking and training and stuff like that. So it's carried, but it's also, it goes back to, like, why I started fighting, like being in the Marine Corps and just going through all those hard times, and then like just being in the cage. It's just less of a it's just less.
So, Eric, we have a new opponent into the mix here. His name's Trevor Gudde. He's a guy that's competed throughout the New England scene for quite some time. I've seen this guy compete a little bit. He looks like a gamer, big, tall dude. Looks like he's a pretty good striker. Can you tell me a little bit about your opponent, about this matchup, and was this a guy that you were kind of expecting you might be fighting at some point?
Not really a guy I expected to be fighting, to be honest. But just like every other opponent, taking him seriously, studied his fights, watched his fights. Definitely a game opponent. Definitely has some strengths. Definitely has some weaknesses, just like everybody I've fought. And the game plan, I'm not gonna put it out there, but I got the game plan. I'm confident in it, and it's just gonna be another exciting fight. This kid. You know, I'm not overlooking him. I know other people are. They're like, oh, he's gonna starch him, but that's not how I take any fight. Doesn't matter if the guy's 0-99. I'm gonna go in there, take him very serious. So he's I know he has good jiu-jitsu. I know he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So been doing a lot of that just to prepare. Taking away the best things in his fight game, taking those away from him.
Eric, with you, like one of the things that where I feel like you've improved the most since, and I've been watching your career for a number of years. I've seen you perform live a few different times. I feel like your striking has evolved immensely from the guy I watched back in 2021, 2022 to present. I'm looking like at a completely different fighter. I'm looking at a much more dangerous guy now compared to what I saw a few years ago. Do you feel like your striking is like miles above your opponent? Like, do you feel like you have the biggest advantage in this fight in the striking versus Goody?
Yeah. Um, and the thing is like I could come in there and strike with the best of them, and I have a puncher's chance against the best of them. I could knock people out in the first round, the third round. Doesn't matter what round. I have that knockout power through and through. But it's all through my setups. It's all based on how my opponent's coming out, what I'm looking for, and I could give you a bunch of different looks in one round. I could come out looking karate styled, long. It could come out Muay Thai. It could come out boxing, wrestling. Like I can mix up my styles with like just a simple, just as simple. I see something I don't like, and I switch it up, and make him think. Put the pressure too. That's something I've been doing a lot. Is working on putting pressure on other guys because I know my counter strikes are going to be there, but I think I got to be in this guy's face a little bit, being that he's taller. He's fucking 6'7", so I'm about to get in on him.
Well, Eric, you get the job done here against a gamer in Goody, and that'll have meant that you run the table in 2024. And it would seem to me that you make a really strong case for maybe running it back with Richards. Is that something that might interest you for the title, or are you just kind of like taking your matchups, like kind of whatever Arias gives you at this point?
No, I'm definitely chasing the title. I'm definitely chasing Blaine, especially after the fight we had. It was I got him on 2 weeks replacement notice, and he seems to be the guy that's he gets these short notice fights, and he's a gamer, dude. He comes out and he puts on a show. I respect the guy, but obviously he beat me, and I know how he fights now. I know what his strengths are. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for a rematch.
Absolutely. Well, I hope that we see that happen in 2025. And Eric, before I let you go, I know that you have a lot of people that work with you behind the scenes and you have sponsors and stuff. Anyone that we need to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, shout out to all my sponsors. I would not be here if it wasn't for them. It's rough coming up as a regional fighter. Trying to make the UFC. I will make the UFC, but I have a bunch of people that believe in me, family, friends, sponsors that really support me in this. So thank them. And I think you were the one that told me about the Ultimate Fighter
Was
season
I? Did I? I think I
being
did. Shit,
being
that
welterweight. Yeah.
yeah. That's right. I did.
So I don't know what's
Hey,
going
no
on.
hard feelings to any other welterweights that are out there. I didn't send that shit to. My bad. But yeah, you're welcome. I sent that shit to you. Yeah. So did
Yeah.
you apply, or do I need to cut this out of the interview?
No. I didn't apply yet. I did not apply yet. I'm I'm taking this fight first, handling this first, and then we'll see what happens with that.
All right, so there we go. So anyone in the UFC watching this, here we go, a welterweight applicant right here. So bam, let's get it done. All right, cool. Well, Eric, you're the man. I appreciate you. One final question: what's the Taco Bell order after you fight? What do we got?
Grilled cheese, steak burrito, large nacho fries, Baja Blast, and a beef chalupa supreme.
All right, there we go. That's the Taco Bell. That's the Taco Bell order. So live your best life if you like that bullshit after the fight. So Eric, thank you for being on the program, and we'll have you on real soon.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.